Today's adventure begins in the great Pacific Northwest state of Washington. We're on a mission to save a species that transforms its habitat like few other creatures on Earth, beavers. Adult beavers use powerful jaws and sharp teeth to chew down hundreds of trees and build complex dams and lodges. As they build, they increase water storage, filter pollutants, and promote biodiversity. But beavers were hunted to near extinction, beginning with the fur trades of the 1800s. Now, less than 3% of the original population remains. This morning, I'm joining Molly Alves and Dylan Collins from the Tulalip Beaver Project. Our mission is to catch a family of beavers that are making an unwelcomed impact on the landscape of this private farm. We have a situation. Beavers are critical to this ecosystem, but sometimes beavers find themselves in a coexistence challenge, and that's what's happened today. And how are we going to fix that?
Yeah, so we're removing these beavers because the alternative is lethal management of these beavers. So we are going to trap the beaver family and relocate them up to Forest Service land.
Okay, let's do it. Molly uses a humane capturing system known as a suitcase trap. Beavers have an incredibly great sense of smell, and they produce a secretion to mark their territory called castoreum.
So we are going to use a castor-based lure. Less is more.
When a beaver enters to investigate the smell, it will be safely trapped inside.
It's very important that we don't get any of this lure in the water because there may be another beaver family half a mile downstream, and if we get it into the water column, it could attract beavers from different areas. And that is enough.
That's it.
To get their attention.
All right, our trap has been set. Beavers are highly social animals with strong family bonds. In order for beavers to be successful in their new home, Molly and her team need to relocate the entire family. So we set several traps around the farm. And before long, we've got one. So we have a beaver.
That appears to be an adult.
And now we've got to move it. And how do we do that without getting nibbled?
Carefully.
Carefully. Okay, let's do it. Right now it seems pretty calm, but that could change in a dime. There it be, our incredible beaver. The Tulalip tribal community are leaders in wildlife management, and their beaver relocation project is a huge success. This Tulalip fish hatchery will serve as a temporary home for the beaver while the rest of her family is captured. To make sure this beaver and we humans stay safe, we keep the beaver in the suitcase trap. This way, we don't have to use a sedative. We've been successful in rescuing this beaver from a situation that may not have worked out, but this is only one step in this very important program that's really about a connection to salmon, isn't it?
Yes, so the reason we started this program at Tulalip is because salmon are an incredibly important subsistence resource for tribal members. And what beavers do in the areas that we're placing them is build dams that create awesome salmon rearing habitat. So it's really all about salmon conservation, and beavers are our partners in that restoration.
The next step is to collect important data from this beaver that the research partners at Washington State and the U.S. Forest Service will use to better understand them.
58 pounds.
58. So this is a good-sized beaver.
It is. All right, Jeff, if you would please grab a hair sample.
And of course, what you can see is that there's different layers of hair because fur, if you live in cold water, is critical, isn't it?
Absolutely. It keeps them insulated.
We coveted that warm pelt, and it nearly drove them to extinction.
Yeah, exactly. Beavers were nearly extirpated from Washington State back in the late 1980s, and they're just starting to really make a big recovery.
But a lot of people still look at them as a nuisance animal, don't they?
They get themselves into trouble. Beavers are very industrious, as we all know, but they like to build dams off of human infrastructure. And our systems aren't designed to have beavers in our waterways.
So really, it's about trying to find coexistence.
Exactly.
Over the last week, Molly and her team have painstakingly rescued an entire family of beavers. Today, Mom, Dad, and 3 youngsters called kits, are about to be relocated to a new home. To help ensure the process is as smooth as possible, I've asked Defenders of Wildlife to join us. This is Kathleen. She works with Defenders of Wildlife. Why should people care about these creatures?
Well, they're part of the fabric of the Northwest, and they really impart functionality on the landscape. They are the ultimate ecosystem engineer, and we need them.
Of course, unfortunately, we nearly lost beavers. Today, we seem to have a more balanced, better relationship with beavers. But we still face many challenges, don't we?
We do. Part of it is the attitude about having wild creatures on the landscape where humans dominate. If we want to keep wild places and wild animals, having the beaver around is important.
Shepherd one to you.
Oh, he's almost in.
Close.
Yes, close. Good job. Working as a team, we collect the entire family of beavers. This is pretty exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, it looks like a really nice, calm place for them.
So how will these beavers transform this environment? How will they change it?
Well, the hope is that they'll build a whole network of dams and essentially create a wetland complex.
For sure, it'll be an oasis. It'll also be a fireproof oasis from wildfire.
Nothing stops a wildfire more than water.
The ponds that their dams create is incredible salmon rearing habitat, and this particular stream is
Salmon! Look at that. And on cue, we have a pink salmon coming into the river to spawn. Once the rest of the beaver family is brought down to the new stream, it's finally time for them to explore their new habitat. Friends, this moment is what Wildlife Nation is all about. These beavers found themselves in a situation just by being beavers that they likely would not have survived. But now, not only do they get a second chance, they give this ecosystem an opportunity to thrive at the height of its biodiversity. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. I can't wait.
1, 2, 3. Go.
Oh, there goes one. Whoop.
Feisty kids.
And that, my friends, is an incredible wild moment. Hopefully, you've developed a great appreciation for nature's ultimate, what would you call them, Molly?
Ecosystem engineers.
100%.